everyone. Welcome to ABC Interactive English. I'm Nina.
And I'm Mike. And today we're looking at an article with a title that sounds like it was taken from a bad news website, like one of those fake news websites. Sending children through the U.S. mail.
What?
I'm imagining all these kids wrapped up with string with stamps on their faces, kind of like sliding down machines in a post office somewhere.
That sounds kind of weird.
That's right. You wouldn't think that you could send children through the U.S. mail. That's like going to the post office with a kid and saying, yeah, send my kid to Denver. I put $16 in stamps on him. I want him to go. People might send certain live... I know that you can send chickens through the mail. Little baby chickens. They actually do that between farms and stuff. But those are chickens, not children. There's a little bit of a difference here, but it's true. The mail, if it's the U.S. mail or the Taiwan Post Service, they do some pretty amazing and wonderful things, right?
Yes, they do. Actually, it's like whenever you travel, you know, like when I go abroad and I want to send my friend a postcard, it's so convenient.
And that's a good, nice thing to do on holiday, right?
And it's cheap.
Yeah, it's very cheap. Really, like a few pennies, less than 100 NT on almost any letter or postcard, and they send it off, and it's very cheap. And also, of course, here in Taiwan, you can, I think, pay your bills at the post office. You can use it like a bank, which is a whole other service that the U.S. Postal Service, U.S. Mail, doesn't do. And I think a lot of people also don't understand how much of their Amazon stuff comes through the U.S. mail. They don't have a special company. A lot of that comes through the U.S. mail. So I guess while you're ordering things off Amazon, other people are sending their nephews and nieces and cousins and sons and daughters, children, through the U.S. mail. I have no idea what this is about. So let's check out the article.
All right.
The U.S. Postal Service provides people with a great service. It gets and delivers their mail at a low cost. When it began in 1792, people could only send letters. All right, so yes, it's time for our article. I'm not sure if I find this title funny or scary.
Yeah, I felt like it was a bit scary in the beginning. Like, what is this? Is this legal? What's going on?
It's definitely an unusual title. So yeah, sending children through the U.S. mail. Now, if I said sending letters through the U.S. mail, sending Christmas gifts through the U.S. mail, that would be totally fine because that's the kind of thing you expect the mail service to do. But children, maybe not. So when we talk about the mail, yes, we're talking about that whole system, that whole service, and all the people who work for it. The post office, the mail carriers, those boxes you put your letters in, all that kind of stuff. When we talk about that system just as a business, as a service, as something that's there, we say the mail. Have you checked the mail? Put it in the mail. I've got some mail. I gotta go post my mail. That kind of thing. And the letter carrier, the mailman, as we used to call these people, postal workers, they deliver the mail to your home, probably. So we all know about that. We all know packages, postcards, letters, normal. Children, not so normal. So let's find out what this is all about.
Let's get into it. The U.S. Postal Service provides people with a great service. It gets and delivers their mail at a low cost. When it began in 1792, people could only send letters.
That's right.
Yeah. So not packages.
Not packages, no. They didn't have packages back then. They only had letters because George Washington was still alive. America was a brand new country. This is a long time ago.
Yeah.
So the U.S. Postal Service, or U.S. Mail, has been doing this for a long time for people all around the country and, of course, all around the world. When we talk about a service, this is a business, probably, maybe something also set up by the government, and it is there to help people and to give them the things that they need or answer the questions they have, that kind of thing. So the health service, the transportation service gets here around town. The health service in a country might be hospitals, clinics, doctors, nurses, all of those things. Transportation services could be buses, trains, taxis, subways, all those types of things. So when we think of a service, we think of some kind of very organized system, and it probably employs or it gives jobs to lots of people, and all of those workers, and that service's job is to help folks out.
Yes, and when we talk about cost, cost is the amount of money that you need to do something, buy something, or even make something.
Yeah, how much does it cost? How much money do I have to spend?
Yeah, or what is the cost of living in Taiwan? How much money do you need to spend if you want to live in Taiwan?
Exactly, and I think most of these mail services, they do their job, they provide that service at a very low cost, right? Have you guys ever sent a package or a letter? It doesn't take a lot of money to put some stamps on it and have it go off. I think the government basically pays a lot of the money to those companies, to those businesses like the post office, so we don't have to, and that's why the service is so low cost or so cheap. It doesn't cost a lot of money. It's a good deal. Maybe that's why they have to send children, because they make, I don't know. Let's take a break, but we'll be back and we'll find out what is going on. Then, in 1913, the USPS started its parcel post service. That allowed people to send and receive packages. The rules about the packages weren't very clear, though. So, some people took advantage of that to mail their children. The first was an Ohio couple. The Beagles mailed their 8-month-old son to his grandmother. Luckily, she only lived a mile away.
Hi guys, welcome back. So to continue our previous conversation, I love how convenient it is to send something or like a package to post.
It's really convenient
amazing.
and still pretty cheap. I send Christmas presents home every year, and it doesn't really cost that much money considering it's going all the way to the other side of the Pacific Ocean in Canada.
Yeah, that's amazing. My grandma, she actually lives in Portugal.
Oh wow, that's far away. Okay.
Yes, and every couple of months she would send me a huge box, a package of just my favorite Portuguese goodies. Like some chocolates and like snacks. And I love it.
Okay, we would call that a care package when you're overseas for school or living there, and someone from back home is like, oh, just to show how much we miss them, we'll put your favorite snacks and your favorite maybe magazines or something, just things from home that you might miss, and they send it off to show they care for you with a care package.
It's so sweet. And
it's sweet of her.
It's lovely, right? We have that convenience. We don't have to go all the way to the other country.
Right.
We can have it just at our feet.
And I'm sure people at the post office in Portugal, they help your grandmother out with wrapping it up, writing on it. And also, I mean, older people often don't have a lot of extra money, but she can afford to do this and send packages to you. Will you bring in some of your Portuguese candy next time and share a piece or two?
I don't think so, sorry.
Oh,
Those are reserved for me and just me only.
I guess there are things that you really miss in there.
Yes.
All right, so let's get back to our article and find out about sending some other unusual things through the mail.
So, back to the reading. Then, in 1913, the USPS started its parcel post service.
Parcel post service. Oh, that's right, because in 1792 when it started, you were only able to send letters and not parcels or packages. Probably because back in the old days, they had to deliver everything on horse.
Yes.
So can you imagine big Christmas boxes on the back of a horse? But of course, by 1913, I think it was, they had cars, trucks, they had trains to carry letters all across America,
so
even
slowly.
Big things like parcels.
Yeah, so now from letters to parcels. And that allowed people to send and receive packages.
Right. Parcels, packages, things that you wrap up that aren't flat. They aren't letters, they aren't postcards. We can call those parcels or packages. For example, Christmas or birthday gifts. And we have this word allow.
Allow, allow is to let someone do something or to give permission.
Okay.
Yeah, for example, my teacher allowed me to go to the bathroom.
Sure.
Yeah. Or I was allowed to go out late when I was a teenager.
Absolutely. And also in the sentence, they were kind of using allow, more like just giving you the ability to do something, right? Now they had cars and trucks. Those are this let people. It gives you the ability to send bigger packages and parcels and things like that. And, you know, as you get older and maybe get a driver's license, that driver's license will allow you to drive a car legally. All right. And we also had this verb receive. Ooh, a very important word that you can use when talking about sending things by mail or even sending things through the internet like email. You send something, so that means I wrote the thing or I closed the letter, I put it in the mail, and then if I'm sending it to Nina, she will receive that message a few seconds later or receive my letter through the mail a day or two or a week later or something like that. So it's the other end of send. If you send something, after a short time, the other person will get or receive that thing. So that's how we use that verb. All right.
Kind of like how we say to give and to receive, right?
To give and to get, to send and to receive. Yeah, very similar. So A sends and then B gets or receives. Now back to the article. It says the rules. So remember, we're talking about the early days of parcels and packages in the U.S. mail. The rules about the packages weren't very clear, though. Okay, I think I see where this is going. So suddenly back in, I think, what was it, 1913? Was that right? Suddenly the U.S. mail was like, hey, guys, if you have packages, parcels, Christmas gifts, anything like that, we can handle it. We can take your thing from New York and bring it to San Francisco or wherever in just a few days. And people heard this and said, you can send anything now through the mail?
Anything?
Maybe, by saying anything, they weren't being very clear about some of the rules here.
Yeah, so clear means easy to understand.
Right.
So when something is clear, you read it or you hear it and you immediately know, oh, that's what it means. But they didn't make the rules clear. So I wonder what people want to start sending now.
That's right. If the rules aren't clear, people get confused. They don't know what they can do and what they can't do. And they might, I can do this. No, you can't do that. I can do that. No, you want to make rules and regulations and things like that very clear, very easy to understand, so there are no mistakes from anyone. Well, these rules for the early days of packages in the mail weren't clear. So, as we continue, it says, so some people took advantage of that to mail their children. Okay, all right, now I'm understanding what we're talking about here. So people were like, hey, you can send anything through the mail. Well, we have our son and we want him to go visit his grandma in another town. Why can't we just send our son through the mail?
It's cheaper, right?
It's cheaper than buying him a train ticket or taking him ourselves or something like that. So I guess people thought if you can send a package in the mail, you can send a person in the mail.
Oh dear.
The first people to try this, the first was an Ohio couple. So a couple in Ohio, I guess, had some kids or whatever, and they wanted the kids to go somewhere. They didn't want to take them, or they couldn't, do it, so they had to send them in the mail. A couple, when we use this, we're talking about two things that go together. But in general, when we use this, when we're talking about people, we're talking about a married couple, a husband and wife, a mother and father, that kind of thing. That will be a couple. But even if you're just dating, a boyfriend and a girlfriend, or girlfriend, girlfriend, boyfriend, boyfriend, could also be called a couple. These two are together.
All right, so back to the reading. The Beagles mailed their 8-month-old son to his grandmother.
8 months? He's a baby.
He's a baby. Oh
he's
my
not
God.
even a child.
That's
he's a
scary.
baby.
Luckily, she only lived a mile away. Wow.
I have many questions for the Beagles of Ohio. This is a very strange couple. So they had this little baby. Grandma hadn't met the baby. They're busy. So they're like, put the baby in the mail. He'll get to Grandma this afternoon.
God.
Grandma only lived a mile away. I mean, really, how long? They could walk there in an hour or something like that. That's a very strange story.
Well, there's always a first.
There's always a first, and there are always some weird ones, too. All right, guys, well, that's all the time we have for today. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you back here tomorrow. Until then, bye-bye. The U.S. Postal Service provides people with a great service. It gets and delivers their mail at a low cost. When it began in 1792, people could only send letters. Then, in 1913, the USPS started its parcel post service. That allowed people to send and receive packages. The rules about the packages weren't very clear, though. So, some people took advantage of that to mail their children. The first was an Ohio couple. The Beagles mailed their 8-month-old son to his grandmother. Luckily, she only lived a mile away.
Hi， 大家好，我是 Stephanie。那我们今天一起来看单字。第一个单字呢是 mail， 它是名词，邮件或者是邮件系统的意思。Air mail is faster than surface mail。航空邮件比普通邮件快。另外 mail 不仅可以作为名词，它也可以作为动词。那作为动词的时候呢，它就是邮寄的意思，像是 The notice was mailed to every company in this building。这项通知被邮寄给这栋大楼内的每间公司。第二个单字呢是 service， 名词，公共事业，服务。The only trouble with this restaurant is the slow service。这家餐厅唯一的缺点就是服务怠慢。第三个单字呢是名词 cost， 费用。People are complaining about the rising cost of food lately。人们抱怨最近食物价格上涨。最后一个单字呢是 couple， 名词，夫妻伴侣。The couple filed for divorce。这对夫妇向法院提出离婚。相反的，如果是看起来很登对的夫妻呢，你可以这么说 ：You two make a lovely couple。你们两个真的是天作之合。好，那我们进入文法。今天的第一个文法呢是 Somebody takes advantage of something to V。一个人利用某事物的机会做某件事情，像是 Eileen took advantage of her work's gym facilities to get fit。Eileen 利用公司内健身房的设施来锻炼身体。第二个文法呢是 She only lives a mile away。她住在仅仅1里远的地方。Somebody lives ... away 表示某人住在多远的地方。Mile 指的是里、英里。那 1 mile 换算成我们比较熟悉的公里呢，大概就是 1.6 公里。我们来看一个例句 Beth lives 3 kilometers away from the grocery store。 Beth 住在离商店3公里远的地方。不论你是使用 mile 或者是 kilometer 当作距离，它们都会放在 live away 的中间。好，那我们今天的讲解就到这里 See you。
Ningxia Night Market is one of Taipei's oldest night markets. Famous foods include oyster omelets, stinky tofu, chicken rice, and taro egg yolk balls. Some foods made it onto Michelin's Bib Gourmand list. Ningxia Night Market tries hard to keep clean and reduce waste. It is the first non-smoking night market in Taiwan. Most vendors have menus in different languages. It's very convenient for foreign tourists. Visit Ningxia Night Market for a taste of Taiwanese flavor.
See you next time!